I'll give you a few minutes just to get on and then we'll get started. How's it going? I'll give it a few minutes. Hi guys. Hello. Mitchie. All right. Aw, it's gonna be so fun. I'm still gonna give it a few minutes just so people can come on, so give it a few minutes and then we'll start in like 2 minutes. Yeah, let's do that. I miss you guys too. Happy International Dance Day. It's gonna be so fun. I'm so happy that On the Floor is doing this. I think it's so great. Hi, Dare. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the top foot. Try and bring both your hands to your bottom ankle. So try to balance here in penché for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Going back into a lunge. Now from here, we're going to slide into our right split. Try to go all the way down without using our hands. Now really make sure this back knee's tucked under. So if you need to, go over the back of the back foot, pressing down, making sure we're square, so hips are flat, back knee's tight, tucked under. Halfway, again, trying to flex the left foot now, balancing in between. You can pulse here or stay. Make sure this foot is not turned out, it's parallel. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, hands down. We're doing our 5 kicks. So we kick, hold, 2, 3. Kick up, 4, 2, 3. Kick up, 3. 2, 3, kick up, 2, 2, 3, and hold the last one up. We're going to flex the top foot, pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the top foot, both hands coming to the supporting ankle. Trying to balance here. Holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Going back into our low lunge. From here, trying to slide into our left split. Remember, we can go on the back of the ball with the foot in the back, making sure it's tight, making sure our right hip is pressing down to the floor. I shouldn't see your kneecap to the front, so we're making sure we're tucking it underneath. Hips are square, knees are tight. You can point them or flex them. Squeezing. Good. Hold for about 5 more seconds. Awesome, we're going to shift into our middle. So we're going to go up and push over top and lie down on our tummies. If you can, put your arms flat, awesome. Now this is easy for you. You can flex your feet, and I want you to keep your hips where they are, but try and flex your big toes up to the ceiling and getting your baby toes to the other side of the floor. So really using that turnout. Now look to one foot and make sure it's right in line with the other. We'll hold here for another 20 seconds. Good, point your toes. If you're almost flat to the floor, you can sit up. Try and really press those hips down. Squeezing those knees and feet super tight still. Good, awesome. Bring those feet in, shake it out. Kind of move your knees right to left. Giving those hips a good stretch. Awesome, I'm going to flex my feet. I'm going to grab the tops of my toes. Pushing the shoulders down, neck is long. So really stretching out those hamstrings as well here. Good. And point, reach all the way forward. Make sure there's no gap underneath your knees, so keeping them really tight together. Good, awesome. Roll up slow, and then we're going to do some sit-ups. So I want you guys to line your back. Now this sit-up is one of the most challenging ones that I find. So you're actually going to keep your knees at 90 degrees here. This one's targeting your lower abs specifically. So you're going to put your hands behind your head. You're going to have your knees at 90. Now the biggest thing is we don't want to let this arch happen. So you should not be able to put your hand through your back. We want to squeeze our ribs so tight, our abs so tight, that there's no block. It's like literally nothing. Your hand can't fit through your back there. So we're squeezing that back into the floor. Our knees are at 90. A lot of people like to bring them in closer or further, so try and keep them right over top, hips to knees. We're going to keep that back flat on the floor. We're going to touch our toes as wide as we can, keeping the back flat. Just touching lightly and bringing them up and stopping at 90, not going any further. We're going to do that 5 more times. So down for 5, and up, down for 4, control, back into the floor, up. Let's do 3 more, down for 3, up. 2 more, 2, up, and last one, down, and up. Awesome. We're going to hold here, but we're going to bring our backs up. We're going to stretch our knees all the way out, hover over the floor for 3, 2, 1, and back up. One more time. Now we're going to hold here, we're going to flex our feet, and we're just going to pedal them up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Roll into your tummies. Stretching out. Now since we targeted the lower abs, you can go onto your elbows. Press your shoulders down. Press your belly into the floor, trying to arch. Neck is long. Awesome. Push back onto your knees. Now we're going to keep our knees there, but we're going to walk our hands to the right. Pressing your left shoulder to the ground. Other side. Awesome, and we'll finish off with a bridge. So everyone, we're going to go up into our bridge now. If you can't do a bridge or you have an injury, a great modification is called the wheel. So you can just keep your hips still off the floor. Try and keep your feet parallel, knees parallel, and just hold here. If you can go up into a full bridge, you can go all the way up. Trying to get your feet together, your knees straight. Trying to really push those shoulders forward. And slowly come down. Hug your knees. We'll twist over to the right. So your focus is going to the left. Your knee is over here to the left. Or to the right, sorry. And switch the other way. Awesome, hug your knees. We'll stand up. Awesome, let's just do one more stretch forward. Awesome, stretch out your shoulders. Awesome, let them go and slowly roll up. Awesome guys, great job. I hope you guys had fun. That's always something really, really easy and simple, but also challenging and quick to get my body moving and to get me warm in the morning before I work out, before I dance. So this is just, I hope you guys enjoyed it and had fun. I hope it warmed you up and you guys are all feeling nice and warm. And so what I'm gonna do is I'll save this live, but I'm gonna go onto my account now, and Mitch is gonna come onto this account and we'll do a little Q&A. So I'll save this live, I'll be right back, and Mitch is gonna be hopping on here soon. And I'll come right back on from my account to do a Q&A. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Hi.
Hi. How are
We're
you?
watching.
So guys, we're here with On the Floor today, myself, Mitch, and Derek, and we're going to be asking some questions for BRIAR, and we will open up the question box at the bottom near the end of the Q&A, but we're going to start off with some questions that we have ourselves. Thank you so much for that warm-up, BRIAR. It was killer.
You're welcome. Did you do it?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So first, we just want to ask, like he said, a few questions of our own, and then we'll get into some like viewer questions. Up first, we just want to ask what your favorite part of being on World of Dance was.
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question. I think honestly, I love a good challenge. So I think for me, being able to challenge myself and push myself mentally and physically to the capacity that I did was one of my favorite things, I guess I could say. I also really loved getting to know and getting to watch so many dancers from around the world because I feel like sometimes we get stuck in like Canada and the States and we forget to kind of experience those other dancers that have such unique different styles that we don't get to see every day. So I think being able to be inspired and motivated by such different people and different styles was also one of my favorite parts.
Nice, yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
you did that. So, you want to ask the next one?
Yeah. So we have some questions here. So, what was the creation process behind the JLo tour? So, we know you went on tour with JLo.
Yeah.
You were in multiple numbers on stage. You had to perform beforehand, but I think a
Yeah.
lot of your fans don't really know exactly what the process
That
was
went.
like. And
For
yeah, so
sure. Yeah, it actually happened so fast for me. I remember I found out, I would say probably around this time last year, because I left LA, I believe at the beginning of May. Yeah, like next month, literally. So it happened all so fast. I remember I was going to New York to visit Miles, and Mitch and I were starting to choreograph my dances literally over FaceTime, because I remember when I got home, we literally had like 3 days. And so Effie was working on my costumes. Mitch and I were going back and forth with ideas of what to do for my solo because I had to go with three. So I got the songs organized, we were FaceTiming, and then when I got back from New York in that 3 days, Mitch and I just put together solos so fast and at least had a base of them. So when I went to LA, at least I could just rehearse them and FaceTime him. I remember Mitch and I were FaceTiming literally in the rehearsal with Jen in that stage in our rehearsal space at Universal Studios. So everything was happening so fast. But again, I just had come off of World of Dance. I was training really hard, so I still felt like I was in really good shape and just still wanting to like learn and create some different things. Obviously, it was such a big opportunity, so I wanted to make sure that I was showcasing everything that I could. And so I got some great song choices. Mitch and I just put them together as quickly as we could and just rehearsed them for a long time. We rehearsed, I would say, for about 2 weeks once I got there. I would do my solos for Nappy Tab, so the creative directors of the show. Jen would watch them here and there, and I would obviously have time throughout the day when they weren't working on my section or a specific dance I was in to work with Mitch via FaceTime to organize whatever else I had to organize through the solo or change whatever I had to change because the space was like a circle. So sometimes we didn't really work because we didn't know what the stage was going to be like and what I was performing on, especially for the opening part. Like we knew
yeah.
obviously what the stage looked like for the show, but for the opening acts, we didn't really know what we were working with space-wise. So when we found out it was the circle, we kind of had to readjust some moves and what we were planning on doing. And then we just kind of kept rehearsing it. And with the dances that I was in with Jen, that was one of the first times that I guess I was working with Jen on like the actual show part, not just on my opening acts. So I had Cassandra work with me on a piece of fabric when she sang Gravity. And then Limitless was kind of just like an improv section through that song. So kind of was all just like by song because they wanted to kind of filter out the dances as the show was developing. So I learned those two contemporary dances, and then I was in the opening, which was also one that I was rehearsing before I even left because I had like, I guess like a, what was it called? I had a hula hoop that I had to work with. And so I was trying to figure out all these different like acrobatic moves that I could do with the time that I had and the music that Nappy Tab sent. So also like through this whole thing, everyone was already rehearsing for the big show when I was in Toronto because everyone basically lived in LA. So when they flew me out, they were already full swing in rehearsal. So I kind of had to catch up and be right, thrown into what I had to do. And so I had to really be on my game every day. And then obviously the last dance that I was in was the encore, and that one was just super fun that I got to do with all the feathers and stuff. So honestly, it was kind of just a take it day by day and just work on as much as I could daily in each routine that I was thrown into. But it happened so fast. Like even now, rethinking everything that we had to do, everything was just like so fast. But it was so fun. I wouldn't change it.
Nice, amazing. You also, like earlier on in your career, did the next step, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't really know how young you were on that show. Can you just tell everyone, like, how old you were when you first started the next
Started.
step, how many seasons you did, like, kind of all of that?
Totally. Yeah, I started on the next step when I was 13 or 14, I believe. I might have just been turning 14. I looked like I was 10. I was literally a baby. But yeah, I got the audition through CDC because obviously it was a dance-related show. So they were looking for strong dancers almost first and then actors to kind of develop into the show. So it was a lot of dancing, a lot of acting. I even had to sing in that audition. And yeah, I think I was 13 when I auditioned, and by the time I got the show and started filming, I was probably 14. And so I did season 2, and then we filmed our last season, not our last season, but our latest season, season 7, as soon as I got off the JLo tour, which was August and September of 2019.
Wow, crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
And nonstop for you for like a decade.
Oh my God, so fast. Fast paced.
All right, we've opened up the questions at the bottom to some of your fans, so we're going to answer some of them.
Cool.
Let's see. How old were you when you started dancing?
I was 7. I grew up in gymnastics. Both my parents were, my dad was an Olympic gymnast, my mom was a coach. So I actually grew up in gymnastics, competitive gymnastics, and then when I was 7, I switched over to dance.
Wow. Baby.
Baby BRIAR.
Lots of people want to know where Miles is.
I think he's probably in the studio recording music, if that was my guess.
Okay, here's a good one. What are some tips for younger dancers that want to improve?
That's a great one. I think for that question, I would say you obviously have to love what you do. People always ask me this, and it's not like you just have to be, you know, motivated and, you know, just want to be the best and just, you know, train hard. You really have to love it, because when people ask me like how you do stay motivated and inspired, and honestly, I just have those goals and I want to work so hard to reach them. And I think waking up, having that love for dance and loving what I do, and then on top of it, the motivation and challenge to want to reach my goals kind of is, you know, what initiates that want to grow and improve the most, I would say. So I would say loving what you do and training hard, having a plan. Like for me, I have a weekly plan, even like a daily plan as to what I want to achieve in that day. Monthly plan, you know, 6 months down the road, a year from now, like my ultimate goal. So I always kind of write down and have goals that are realistic within a good, you know, realistic time frame. And I try and stick to those according to what my goals are. So just making sure you're setting a schedule for yourself, trying your best to stick to it. And yeah, just making sure you're staying versatile too is really important.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Another one. This is a funny one.
I saw you laughing.
How did you hurt your hand during World of Dance?
Let me ask you guys that. I don't know. I'm just joking. It was literally me, Mitch, and Derek in the ballroom. I literally can picture it. But I can't picture me falling. I just remember where we were. It's so weird. I was doing my Come Fly With Me solo. And I was going so full out, but I remember Mitch was like, do you want me to film it? I was like, no, it's okay. We'll film it next time. So we didn't film it, but I remember I was doing it, and I did one of my like switch split jumps that I do. And I got so high and horizontal that I slipped under my foot. So I didn't land, and I fell right on top of my left hand. So I broke my fifth carpal. But I remember like, I don't know, you guys were there. I remember I was just laughing and I didn't even know what happened. Yeah. And it only like hit me after the fact. But I don't know, like, what did you guys see? Because I can't even honestly remember, like, how it happened. It happened so fast. I just remember being on the ground.
I remember you being, like, right in front of me, and I was sitting in a chair like this, and you, like, easily were over my head. Like, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
You were so high, and I just remember, your, like, foot slipping and you landing, like, flat on your stomach.
Like a pancake.
I thought it was such a loud noise. I thought your hip hit first.
I remember.
But it was your hand. And, like, you competed that whole rest of the time with a broken hand, and like that's so crazy to me. Like didn't bring it up on the show, like didn't make a big deal out of it, but yeah, like competing with a broken hand, I can only imagine.
Well, I didn't want to go to the doctors too much, because then they would have been like, well, I did go to the doctors before Ashes, and they were like, you should get surgery, and I was like, but then I'm gonna be out of the competition, like I have to wait till I get home. So I was just like so not trying to leave the competition just because of my hand. But yeah, I remember you guys thought that my hip was like shattered or something, because
it was so
and it was concrete, right? Just with the carpet over top. It was so bad. Imagine we had that on film.
I know. I always think about that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, a couple more. Let's see. How many hours do you normally train for dance?
So when I was growing up competitively dancing, I would say 40 to 50 hours a week, maybe like you know, in all styles, all different groups and competition solos, whatever I was training in, but definitely a solid 40 to 50. Now I still train, I would say a good like 30 hours a week, just differently and in different, I guess, areas of the industry. So obviously I sing and dance and obviously act, but I do a lot of like yoga, Pilates, a lot of conditioning, strengthening, gymnastics, kickboxing, boxing. So I do a lot of different, I guess, more broad areas in the athletic industry, I guess you could say, like always trying to keep my flexibility while keeping my strength, trying to improve my dance. So dance wise, I would say I try to like 2, maybe even more hours like a day, but it depends because sometimes my body's really sore. I'll take that time to go for a run and do yoga. So a lot of different, I guess, athletic areas that I train in. Just switching it up, not just dance, but I still dance quite a bit for sure, obviously. And it all is to be stronger in dance. I just use those different kind of ways to train, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good to find that balance.
For sure.
Another one coming at us is, who do you look up to in dance, being such a great dancer already?
Honestly, I think there's such a wide variety of dancers that inspire me, and kind of like I was talking about with World of Dance, there's a lot of different dancers in different genres that I respect and look up to so much, even genres that I didn't even really kind of tackle, like ballroom and stuff. Like I love watching it and I have so many inspirations in it, but I didn't necessarily train in it. I feel like it's so hard for me to pick just one person. Like Lex Ishimoto is so strong in like that b-boy kind of world, so that inspires me to kind of get those sort of tricks. Then there's the gymnasts that actually, you know, challenge me to want to be stronger in gymnastics. Even Derek and his legs is crazy. I'm always like, I want to get my flexibility stronger, so I force myself to do over splits every day. So I kind of have like different people for different, again, parts of the industry that inspire me, and I kind of just take certain pieces and parts. Yeah.
Well, you've like inspired such a generation above you and under you for so long. So, I mean, that being said, just hearing where your inspiration comes from, I'm sure like is really beneficial for them.
Aw, thanks,
for everyone watching. Here's one more. What was your favorite solo on World of Dance?
I feel like I connected to Ashes the most. But I also love the box dance. That was just very like me and just super fun. So if I had to choose two, I would probably say Ashes and the box dance. But I still really did like Redemption because it was just like super, just so fast. Like everything happened so fast that I was like really shocked about like how quick everything happened and how it happened. So I would say Redemption was, you know, an on the spot, real quick, kind of like smart thinking, you know, what I got to do and do it. So I was kind of, you know, impressed with how I handled that situation, especially with the broken hand coming out of Come Fly With Me. But I would say connective wise, I would say Ashes and My Prerogative or the box dance were my favorites. Yeah. But I mean, the other ones were great too. Like my first one was fun. It was just like the first one. So you're a little more nervous, you know, to like really open up and like share everything. And Toxic was really fun too. I don't know, it's hard to choose, but Ashes I definitely like emotionally connected to the most.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I loved Ashes.
Yeah, Ashes is My Prerogative. Those
but
two.
the box was so hype.
Yeah.
I know. That's why they're just so different. So it's so hard to choose like which direction, if you go emotional or just more my style.
Yeah, totally.
Right, let's do another question. Let's see if we got a really good one.
Let's see. What's been the most challenging thing you've overcome?
Probably my epilepsy, I would say. It was such a crazy time that when I look back on it, I can't even like imagine still being in that state that I was in. Like it wasn't a bad state. I was really trying hard to stay strong and, you know, mentally and physically, and what I could do when I couldn't dance to try and keep my danceability still up. So I just had to switch my mindset, which was really hard because obviously I'm like a very like forward, like bullheaded person that likes to like challenge yourself to something and get it done. So I would say going through that time and being unsure and not being able to control my body in such, you know, an unsure time was probably the most difficult thing I've had to overcome, especially because I felt like I was in my prime when I started having my seizures. I was like 15. I was training so hard so often. And so for that to come up so suddenly was a real big shock to me. And also I had to put that fear into me that like I never really felt before. Usually I'm pretty like, you know, tough in scenarios, but that one was pretty hard for me to to face at first, like, and understand it, I would say. But it also did make me a lot stronger, I would say, coming out of it. I don't think I'd be exactly who I am right now without having to overcome it. So I think it does have, obviously, its pros and cons to it. And now I've just learned, you know, through injuries, or even like you, when you need to recover, or when you're going through a time like what you have to do and you're not dancing, or you're not doing what you would love to do at that moment, there's other ways to strengthen by doing, you know, the rehab of, you know, strengthening, for me, my brain, for you, your hips, you know, reading, listening to podcasts, meditation, yoga, stretching. Like, there's always just ways that you can get around it, watching dancers on YouTube, being inspired, being motivated, in other ways, until you can get back to doing exactly what you want to be doing. But there's definitely ways around it. And so I think it's kind of opened up my mindset to, when things like that happen, how to overcome it stronger.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, it's like cliche and like kind of corny, but like, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. It's like,
It's so true.
It's like every hardship that anyone's gone through, you, after the fact, you do see how much stronger you've become.
Yeah, it does take time, because I feel like I didn't even see that until like a year after I got diagnosed. And then I look back and I'm like, wow, that's crazy, like where I was mentally and physically, and like now how I see things in like a totally different light. And then you also never take it for granted. I think when you go through something so intense, you're like, wow, like I don't even take learning a combo that I'm so exhausted to take, you know, for granted, where sometimes you don't think about it, but, you know, you're not necessarily trying your best because you're just so tired, which can happen. So I think it's just that extra reminder that, like, you know, things can be taken away from you so fast. So to really enjoy and like live in the moment is also, like, I think a big thing that I learned through it. But yeah,
everyone is doing a little bit more now, right? Yeah. We have the time, so
exactly, take this time to do it.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. Last question, and this is from us, and I'm sure everyone wants to know, what do you see yourself doing next or in the future, once obviously Corona's all done with?
I'm like, right now? Honestly, I think on the acting side of things, I really want to do action films. So I do a lot of kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu. Obviously, my gymnastics training and my dance, I want to use that athletic side that I have to do fight scenes and do my own stunts, obviously with that acting portion of the action film. So I would love to do that type of thing in acting. Obviously, I love the drama and the comedic things, but I really do want to use my athletic abilities in my acting. And on a dance side, I've actually kind of been like thinking about that myself, because I'm obviously so grateful I went on tour with Jen as a soloist. So now I'm just thinking, you know, what's that next step for me? What do I want to do next? And I remember Mitch told me, I was telling him I wanted to focus on my acting. He's like, but you can only dance for so long. You can act forever. I was like, it's so true. So honestly, I'm just trying to get so strong and get in like top shape and make sure I'm eating really well, obviously taking care of my epilepsy and everything, and just, you know, putting out dances, still dancing just because I love it. And I'm working on some music, so I do want to start doing some more of the entertainment side of things. So acting and singing, or not acting and singing, dancing and singing together. So putting more like live shows together and just having like a really fun time on stage. So I would say between acting, dancing, and singing is kind of like where I want to go with each of them.
You could do your own tour like Derek Huff.
Yeah.
I'm dead. Hopefully, eventually.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
You're welcome.
And doing this.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And we will be continuing the rest of the classes for International Dance Day. We're going to be starting back at 3 o'clock.
Yay.
But big thank you to BRIAR for doing that warm-up today and for a Q&A.
Of course.
And, we will see everybody else later on today at the next Q&A.
Yay! Okay, thanks, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Pull you in to feel your heartbeat. Can you hear me screaming?